Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all here today for our Monday, April 12th, our Monday, April 12th response and recovery call for Downtown SLO. My name is Bettina Swigger. If you're joining for the first time, I'm the CEO of Downtown SLO, and we've got a number of guest speakers with us today to give some updates on things that are affecting our downtown. So first up, I want to say hello to our board of directors, including our new board president, Laura Mullen. We do have a meeting tomorrow morning.
Tina, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. We do have a meeting tomorrow morning.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you, Dawn. Can everyone else hear me? Yep. Okay. Cool. Sorry, Dawn. We'll get to you in just a second here. So we have a board meeting tomorrow morning, and we're going to be talking about some important things coming up, including the City Council budget meeting that's happening on April 20th. We had a really robust meeting of our Parking and Access Committee on the ad hoc basis last week, and there's lots to discuss. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning if you're on the board of directors. And I would like to invite Rachel to give a little update on our staff. So good morning, Rachel. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Bettina. Doing well. I wanted to let you all know on this call that I will be leaving Downtown SLO on June 1st. It's been such an honor to work for Downtown SLO over the past 4+ years, starting as an intern all the way to now. I've been so fortunate to work with many of you on this call, if not all of you, during my time here, and just so grateful for all the opportunities I've had to just build really just such special relationships with each of you. I'm going to miss everybody, but this is not goodbye. I'll go ahead and share my contact information in the chat, but we are looking to bring on some new opportunities with the organization. Some changes will be coming, and Bettina will be touching on that a little bit later on. But just wanted to say thank you so much to the team and to all of you on this call.
Thank you so much, Rachel. And we're very sorry to see you go, but we know that you are going to do great things in the Bay Area. And we're so grateful that we've had the chance to learn from you and learn with you. I personally cannot imagine having gone through the last 2.5 years without you. So we will definitely stay in touch, and whoever gets to work with you next is very lucky indeed. And I especially want to give a shout out to the long runway you're giving us for this change. It's been a year of change and disruption for our organization. So we are definitely grateful for the chance to do some restructuring, and as we bring our programs back and some of our popular events and activities are going to start again, for the continuity that you're providing us is really great. So we'll see you at the farmers market on May 6th, and that'll be really exciting too. And we'll see you at the next couple of meetings too. With that in mind, you see on the screen before you a slide of our current staff. We have another ambassador, Tyler Carbone, who is not pictured here. We'll get a photo of him pronto, but we're going to be doing some recruitment. We are going to be hiring an operations and public space manager. We're also hiring 2 part-time program assistants. So if you'd like to learn about that, or if you have anybody in mind who you think would be a good candidate, send them our way. And with that, Rachel, I'll ask you to do your weekly COVID update now.
Yeah, so as of Friday, April 9th, SLO County was at 20,723 positive tests of COVID with 217 active cases. So looking back to last week, we were at 215 active cases. So that number's remaining pretty steady, which is good that it's not increasing drastically. Thankfully, there have been no additional deaths in the past week, but just as a reminder of the effect this has had on our county, we have had 256 deaths due to COVID-19. We have continued to have more doses administered in the county, and really great to see that it's open to everybody 16 and over, with 167,389 doses for those of residents in SLO County. And with that, Bettina, I'll turn it back over to you for some more vaccination updates.
Yes, so I'm very excited to report that I personally got my first dose of the vaccine, which I'm sure is what you're all wondering about. No, just kidding. I know a lot of you have already gotten that, and some of you have had your second doses as well. I'm really delighted to note that the vaccine task force at the county had a meeting with some of us at the chamber and at the Visit SLO Tourism Bureau. This morning, Visit SLO announced that there are 4 sessions that are going to be specifically for hospitality workers. So that's anybody who works in hotel, restaurant, food, bev, attractions, etc. So this just came out this morning. We're hoping that we'll be able to deploy that information throughout the downtown as well to some of the restaurants. They have flyers about these dates and times in both English and Spanish. So we're really hoping that we can reach everybody who needs to get vaccinated and get them vaccinated quickly. One of the things that we have been hearing is that there is a misconception that you have to pay for the vaccine or that you need to be insured. And that is not in fact the case. The vaccine is free and you do not have to have insurance. So these sessions will be no appointment required, and we hope that we can get some more people vaccinated. Coming up, we're going to be doing a downtown cleanup day. We had our last one in October, and the next one's coming up on April 17th. So far, we have about 30 people signed up. So thanks to all of you who have decided to come out and spend your Saturday morning with us, just making sure downtown sparkles. And also wanted to just again let you know about the upcoming city council meeting on April 20th. Probably Lee Johnson with the city will tell us a little bit more about that. Sorry, that's an incorrect. There's no need to register in the link in the chat. That was an errant slide that I missed in a typo, so sorry about that. We also, on April 21st, are going to have a special session where we'll be discussing homelessness in the downtown. Homelessness is obviously an issue that affects the entire county and the city, but this is a pervasive issue that we've seen in downtown as well. And there are a number of new initiatives that are coming up, including new funding sources that hopefully will expand services. So we want to make sure that we can keep the downtown business community in the know about what's going on. So we'll have a number of speakers, including Carolyn Berg and Laurel Weir from the County of SLO. They'll be talking about the update in homeless services, including the $12 million that came through the HAP and HEAP funding. And if you don't know that acronym, you will get a chance to learn about it at the April 21st session. We'll also have the city manager, Derek Johnson, will be talking about some of the major city goals and some new collaborative partnerships the city is embarking on. We'll have our downtown sergeant, Jason Dickel from SLO PD, and he'll be talking about how to keep your business safe. And then we'll also have a social worker, John Clevens, who's embedded with CAT team and employed by TEMA. He'll be talking about working towards solutions. And then we'll have our CAPSLO downtown outreach worker, Junior Menchaca, talk about the work that he does to connect people with 40 Prado, with the services like getting an ID, getting enrolled in different programs, getting Social Security, et cetera, and the work that he does on the ground every day. So hopefully you can sign up for that. There's a link to sign up in the chat. And with that, we're going to invite our first speaker, Supervisor Ortiz Legg. Good morning, Dawn. How are you today?
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Good. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I'm so happy to hear the news of the vaccination. And I think that my update's going to be very brief, but it really is about vaccination. On Friday, I had the chance with the Latino Caucus of Supervisors in California to have a meeting with Dr. Gailey, the state physician. And really the important thing that we're seeing is that we need all the feedback we can get on regards to people who may be having a hard time either logging in or not getting a vaccine, because what we really must do is avoid these variants. And the variants were pretty much the main thing on his mind, that the more people that we can get vaccinated, the sooner, the better, because we certainly don't want to repeat what we've just been through. And so that's just, I think pushing out messaging, encouraging vaccination is just the most important thing at this time. And I think we at the county are doing a pretty good job with all the partners and all of you putting out that information. I just want to thank you, because it does take a village, and it's just, there's so much out there. So hats off and appreciation to each and every one of you. I'm really excited about the fact that you're having Carolyn Berg and Laurel Weir and the whole group of professionals on the homelessness, because we are really starting to launch and come together on that issue. You know, Carolyn was hired at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the year at the county, and to do just this, to be we call her the housing and homelessness czarina, because she has trying to wrap her arms around all of the potential solutions, as well as the housing opportunities and other services that are so many out there, but how are we making sure that everybody knows what's available to them? And also as a region coming up with solutions, because obviously I feel like the city of SLO takes the brunt of a lot of the homeless issues. And I know that it's happening everywhere, but you know, your city has done such an incredible job of doing as much as they can. And so we all need to shoulder this responsibility. And that's what this effort is going to be. I am going to be really working on more solutions that not necessarily we've been talking about, but I think that are of the legislative level and some of the other areas that we really have to start talking about some hard issues. And so that's where my energy is going to be, as well as supporting the Homeless Services Oversight Committee and all the work that all the people that you had on your screen and will be there. And I saw also will be logging in. Our budget process is going to start in the next first week. Let's see, I think it's May 4th or 5th is whatever that Tuesday is, we'll start talking about budget at the county. And so I hope to have more details for you on that the next time. And I think I'll end my update there, but that's pretty much what I'd have to share. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Dawn. And I know you and I both serve on the HSOC, which is the Homeless Services Oversight Council. And I appreciate what you're saying about there are policy solutions and then there are kind of practical solutions. And sometimes the policy feeds into the practice, and sometimes the practice needs to feed up to the policy. So it's great to have your voice at the table.
I'm happy to be helping. Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you about the business grants that the county announced a couple of weeks ago. And I think you spoke about this a little bit last week, but are those reserved for businesses that are in the unincorporated areas?
Initially, this money was set aside for the businesses in the unincorporated areas because they didn't have a amazing chamber of commerce necessarily that they could go to that, you know, had the opportunity for them to participate. So that's what we're doing with this first amount, first come, first serve. If there's still some left over, obviously applicants from within the cities can apply. Tomorrow I will be submitting a suggested list back to administration regarding our money that's come in from the ARPA funds, the Rescue Act funds, and that will be beefing up that fund to go for more rounds, and that would be expanding to all areas of the county in the cities.
Great. That's really great.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, anybody have any questions for Supervisor Ortiz-Legg? No? Great. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we have Jim D'Antona with the Chamber of Commerce. How are you, Jim? You're muted, Jim.
Wow.
It's a Monday.
Over a year. How the heck did that happen? Usually don't make that error. Sorry. So, good to see everyone. But want to kind of just give you a quick couple rundown things we're working on. We're going to be sending out this week a piece on business impact survey, which you will have seen before. We've slowed them down from monthly to every other month. We'll be sending those out today. And the idea here is obviously we just want to catch an idea of where the sentiments are, how your business is doing. So we will be putting that just went out on our site. It'll be open for 2 weeks. And again, just an idea to try and see where folks are hearing the news that as we're moving towards that reopening, as we're seeing vaccinations getting armed and our reopening happening, how are we moving forward and how is it affecting your business? So that'll be happening for the next 2 weeks. And you can find that link right over in the corner there. Love to get you to fill them out, whether you're a chamber member or not. The idea here is just to help us understand for you what other things we need to be doing and considering so that we can hit the ground running when it's time to go. Additionally, we will be hosting our mixer next week it's being hosted by, it's a virtual mixer, and our host is Rod and Hammers, Slow Stills. They have a fabulous, if you sign up for it, they have, they're doing free tastings out at their site, out at Slow Brew Rock, which is amazing if you haven't tried those. But a great chance, again, to connect, find out what else is going on with other members, other people in the community. It's free to register and to join us. We love having it. It's a really interesting conversation. We get together in small groups and really connect on what's happening with your business and getting to meet all sorts of new folks. And then finally, we know that, as you were talking about, Bettina, is the idea of April 20th kind of meeting, a council meeting for the budget, so that they can receive strategic discussion on strategic direction from the council. And as we've been running it through our process, we're really focused on those capital improvement projects that are coming through. Definitely something all of us should be looking at. You know, the city, the community passed the local revenue measure. And so that's really looking to add some heft behind our capital improvement projects, improving our community. And I think the city is doing a good job putting those together and has some really interesting pieces. So we would recommend everybody take a look, but I think you'll see what's in there, and we'll be there talking about this next Tuesday, is that a really important discussion on these capital improvement projects, improving our community. So that's all we have today. Bettina?
Thank you, Jim. Are there any capital improvement projects within the downtown that you're specifically calling out?
There are lots of them. Most of them are related to, you know, the street improvements and bike lanes. There's also some very big items that they're looking at in terms of Prado Bridge, not the overpass, the bridge off of High Garra, but that's outside the downtown. But they have some really amazing projects around the parks. So this 2-year stretch in here has a lot in it. In fact, the list is so long. It was really impressive. But yes, a lot of work happening in those parklet pieces and some of these other things that are really going to maintain the, you know, the stature that downtown has as a driver in our community.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the parklets as well. We had our Parking and Access Committee meeting last week, and we talked a lot about the revenue that's lost from the parklets, but the ambiance that's added. So it's a little bit of an interesting kind of negotiation in your mind, right? About, okay, what do we get versus what do we have to pay? And I know that there's also a lot of momentum toward really needing to get the Palm to Pomos parking structure built. That's imperative, and that project has been in the works for about 11 years. So we'll be advocating strongly for that project to move forward, even though there are some kind of unpopular parking fees that are associated with needing to get there. But I hope that that'll be on the chamber's list as well.
We definitely see the value in making sure investing in that Palm to Pomo structure, especially when you're talking about those parklets, right? As we're doing that, we're removing some opportunities for parking. We want to make sure those are available right near where all these businesses are, again, to ensure that there's easy access and those businesses can stay strong. And again, I think it's added a great ambiance to our community, and it's been something we've heard nonstop at the chamber.
Definitely. And I know over the weekend, speaking of parking, there have been some improvements to the bike plaza parking lot in front of the chamber. Exciting to see. There's a bike now kind of planted in a planter with a plant on it. It's very meta and very cute. So we'll also be talking about ways to access the downtown that don't involve bringing your car. You know, it's exciting that we're in a moment where we're talking about parking again and not about, you know, disease. although that still exists. So anyway, thank you for that detail, and we'll look forward to seeing what you come up with for the 20th. So thank you very much. Okay, up next, speaking of the city, we will have Lee Johnson. Good morning, Lee. How are you today?
Good morning, Bettina. Doing good. Can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes.
All right. So a couple things. Tomorrow night, we have a council meeting, and there is introducing and amending the municipal code. The first thing is regarding shopping carts and how they're managed by establishments. The second piece of that is tents and similar structures and restricting those in the public space, like particularly parks. And then the final piece is setting an age limits and restrictions on the play equipment to make sure that they're used by the intended audience for everyone's involved safety. The other thing on that agenda is the urban water management plan, and then our water shortage contingency plan, which has not been such a hot topic over the last few years when we're not in a drought, but with the situation this winter, et cetera, I think that's becoming more interesting. So people want to tune into that. And then next week on Tuesday, as a couple of people have mentioned, is strategic budget direction. That's kind of really where council will weigh in on all the staff work done so far, and then give us direction on what to change, what not to change, all that kind of stuff, so that we are then able to bring the final budget draft back to the council in June. So that's basically how that works. It's kind of the not the last shot, but getting close to the last shot to have particularly big changes are pretty hard to do after next Tuesday once we get that direction. So yeah, and then otherwise we hit the 4 million number. So now we're just waiting on the COVID restrictions to see where our numbers come out tomorrow. If they are good, then and next week they are good, we'll be able to move to the orange. I think everyone's aware that the governor, barring big changes on June 15th, everything will kind of start reopening or be reopened, but still with social distancing and mask wearing, that kind of thing. So other than that, that is it for me today.
Yes, and that little detail that you threw in there at the end is certainly something that threw us all last week when we got that announcement about the June 15th opening. Do you have any insights as to how the city is going to interpret that, or?
I think it's pretty clear. I mean, barring something changing, but I mean, I think it's in theory, we go away from the blueprint on June 15th. So unless I would think unless there's some real if there's real challenges with a variant between now and then, or a particular location has real problems, or geographic area that might do something. But I think the data that they're seeing shows between vaccinations and everything else, knock on wood, barring something jumping out, that's the trend line. But that requires, to get to that point, now everybody still wearing their mask, still social distancing, still getting tested, and most importantly, going and getting your shot when you're able to get your shot. That is like the most important thing we can do now. Is the important things: wear the mask and then get your shots.
Great. Well, we're also thinking a lot about how this will impact our programs, and I'm sure you and I will talk about this later today. But for example, with Concerts in the Plaza, we had certain programs that we thought might be feasible, and now we're thinking, oh, maybe we can do something that's a little bit larger. So I know Parks and Rec will be, revisiting kind of those guidelines for applying for sites and those kinds of things.
Yeah, most of that will be dependent on the county giving us some direction on if they're going to do something, because it's going to come from public health. If they're going to do something different or have some kind of slightly different plan or more guidance, then that will come from them, and we'll roll that out from there.
Got it. Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. It's just
Okay.
it's just an interesting moment where you try to plan for one thing that's with limitations, and then maybe it'll be all hands on
Something
deck.
different.
I know Kevin knows what I'm talking about from the Slow Rep Theater. All right. Anything else, Lee?
Nope, that's it. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. I want to just share that this week, in addition to all of the fantastic things that we do at Downtown SLO each week, I am also participating in an online conference for Main Street America, the Main Street Now conference, which usually has about 2,000 people in attendance. And this morning I got to attend a plenary session by Howard Schultz, who's the founding CEO of Starbucks. And that was really interesting. He made a really good point that while he is generally regarded as somebody who started Starbucks, he actually just started with one shop, and he owned and operated one shop for a long time. So it's fun to get together with peers and learn from them and share some of our stories about what we're doing here in San Luis Obispo. There's also a free day of professional development tomorrow. And if you go to Main Street America, you can check that out, and anybody is invited to participate. So always good to learn if you like to do that sort of thing. As you know, our farmers market is returning on May 6th, and we are busy working on the details for that. We invite you all to come and purchase your produce and support the farmers. We're really going to be relying on the local community to provide that support so that we can eventually get it back to what it was. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be great fun. It'll be in a smaller footprint. So it'll be on Higuera between Choro and Osos, and just farmers only, and some essential staple goods as well. So if you think that you fit into that category, please email Whitney, and she's at whitney@downtownslo.com. The SLO Museum of Art has a fantastic pop-up in Mission Plaza, thanks to the city of SLO for investing in expanded decorations and activations in our Mission Plaza. You can dine there daily, 11 to 8, and you got to check out the Through the Flowers. It's going to be on display through April, and it's absolutely gorgeous, by artist Lori Shapiro. Coming in May, we're continuing on that floral theme, and we'll have a pop-up in Mission Plaza. We're partnering with the Cal Poly Rose Float team and Carson Butler to produce a butterfly garden that'll be in Mission Plaza. It's going to be beautiful and really fun to see kind of build out over many weeks. Trust Automation Daycare is also going to do some chalk art with their little ones. So it'll be super cute to see that. That'll be going in April 17th. And there's going to be a scavenger hunt coordinated by the Children's Museum about finding and protecting the monarch butterfly community. So we're looking forward to that. And we are calling on some volunteers. If you are interested in helping us make downtown bloom, we'll be decorating downtown on May 1st. Artists will be cropping up and painting windows. We have more than 85 businesses participating in the Mayflower Initiative, and we'll be wrapping the light posts with floral garlands on May 1st. So email Cassidy if you'd like to join. And we still have gloves. We have a ton of gloves. So if you would like to get some gloves, I say this every week, give us a call or come on by. We would like them to be on your hands and not in our office anymore. So we are hiring, as I said earlier, so please keep in mind if you have anybody in mind who you think would be a good candidate for these 3 positions. And we're hoping to do some interviewing and get these folks on board very soon. We are going to be transitioning from weekly to monthly calls for this next month. So we'll continue to meet weekly through the end of this month. And we will have our board of directors meeting tomorrow morning. So those of you on the board, I'll see you at 7:30. Anybody have any questions or complaints or jokes or critiques or comments that they would like to share at this time? Jim's laughing at me. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for being with us every week. We appreciate it. Look for your member email that will come to you tomorrow with more resources. I'll see you all on the board tomorrow morning, and we'll see you next Monday. Thanks all.